Today, this video is all about the Fnaf movie's ending. Before I get straight into it, this video obviously contains spoilers about the ending of the movie. There's your warning. It's pretty obvious because we're talking about the ending, but yeah, I have to say it just in case. Spoiler warning. I was really happy with the ending of the movie, where William Afton meets his demise 20 years later after murdering the kids at Freddy Fazbear's Pizza. The children possessing the animatronic robots finally realise who the killer is, thanks to Abby's drawings, attack William Afton, causing the spring lock failure and locking him away forever. For now, anyway. We're just going to talk about the climax of the movie. There's been a few questions about the ending that people are confused by. I want to discuss those with you today, just in case some people don't understand some certain things. I feel like this is going to be a good summary video for FNAF fans and non-FNAF fans alike. We'll just go through certain plot points. The reason why William Afton returns to the location in the first place, he needs to kill Mike. He knows that Mike is digging around too much at the location. He's learning more and more things about William Afton and the murders. He's in contact constantly with the animatronic children, and now Abby is involved in this mess as well. William Afton basically does a Thanos and says, fine, I'll do it myself, puts on the yellow rabbit suit and tries to stop Mike. We also learn that Vanessa is William Afton's daughter, and Vanessa has been cleaning up William's dirty work. I don't know how long, but she definitely cleaned up the dirty work of the thugs getting killed. I do believe William Afton does go to the location as well to clean up stuff. A question that people have been asking is why the pizzeria is still there in the first place. That's because William can't let it go. He says that in the phone call. William wants to keep the location alive. Number one, his murder victims are still in there, stuffed in the animatronic suits. If the place gets demolished and people salvage the animatronics or something, they're probably going to find out, one, the animatronics are possessed, and number two, the bodies are still stuffed inside the suits. That's obviously going to create a big problem for William. Number two, Freddy Fazbear's Pizza is William Afton's trophy. It's his murder trophy as a serial killer. He wants to keep that location alive as long as possible. That's where he murdered all of his victims, you know? He wants to keep that location alive. The animatronics are his trophies as well. And the biggest reason is he is a serial killer. He likes to kill people, and he's manipulated his victims to kill more and more people for him. Of course he would want to keep the location running. He's killing more and more people, and he's getting away with it. For 20 years he's been getting away with that. How does he keep getting more and more people killed? He changes his name to Steve Raglan and becomes a career counsellor. And for years and years, we don't know how long, and we don't know how many people he's killed, he hires new people as a security guard at his trophy location to get killed by his animatronics. That's why he is a career counsellor. The good thing about it too, in Mike's case, is that he can read people's profiles, and if he recognizes anybody's names or anybody's last names, he'll try and persuade them to be a night guard to get killed, because he obviously doesn't want people finding out who he is. It's a perfect situation for William Afton. He's getting everything that he wants. So yeah, Torture Freddy is William Afton's creation as well. Just a really evil way, painful way to kill people. Perfect for William. William Afton doesn't need to be at the location to kill people. He's got an easy, automated way to get constant kills all the time. That's why he hires Mike Schmidt to be a night guard, because he expects the animatronics to kill him to get rid of Mike. Because remember, William Afton has killed Garrett. So of course he would want Mike dead, because it's his brother. Mike is facing the killer right now. So of course, William will want to get rid of him. William Afton's plans fail. Number one, Mike manages to escape the animatronics. Number two, Abby is there, creating even more problems. And number three, Vanessa, his daughter, is starting to side with Mike and Abby. That's the point where William's like, I've had enough. I've got to deal with this myself. He goes back to the location, puts on the yellow rabbit suit to deal with Michael himself. The reason why William Afton puts on the yellow rabbit suit, the yellow rabbit is the animatronic's best friend. When he's in that suit, he can manipulate the animatronics to do whatever he wants because they trust him. They listen to him. They've been listening to him for 20 years. And number two, he's super powerful in that suit. That's why William Afton can push Michael that hard and kick him that hard, because he's got extra power with the animatronic suit. It's strange how only one side of the suit is withered or damaged compared to the other side. I don't know if that's a detail they wanted to add just to make him look a bit creepy and withered a little bit. But it's interesting. It's interesting only one side is. Like, it's been, you know, something's happened, like a fire or something in the past. Maybe we'll see why in the next films or something. Like I said, guys, William Afton has been manipulating these kids for over 20 years. The kids don't remember who murdered them. In their heads, they trust the Yellow Rabbit because in their past as kids at the location, they've always seen the Yellow Rabbit as the big, friendly idol, and they will listen to everything he says. And remember, it's been 20 years since they've been listening and trusting this Yellow Rabbit. Of course, they're going to do everything the Yellow Rabbit says. The Yellow Rabbit is basically like their parents, you know, that they've been looking up to for all of this time. And that's why the animatronics kill all the night guards who go to the location, because they trust the Yellow Rabbit. The Yellow Rabbit has been telling the animatronics to kill every night guard who comes into this location. That's why they don't kill Vanessa either. William Afton has probably said, don't kill her for a start. Vanessa is your friend. Don't kill her. She's fine. Vanessa's been going back to the location as well over and over again on her rounds. So, of course, they're going to trust her as well. So that's why they don't attack her. Think about it. If you're an animatronic kid spirit in an abandoned location for over 20 years, how would you feel if a new kid for 20 years goes back to the location? It's a new friend to play with. Remember, this place has been abandoned for over 20 years. Not a single kid has been in that location for over 20 years. Imagine how the animatronics feel. Remember, they are possessed by children. You can imagine how lonely that must be. Abby is basically the light that goes into the location. Abby is a sense of hope and fun and kindness these animatronics haven't seen or felt in over 20 years. So, of course, the animatronics want to be friends with her. I know that some people don't like the fort scene. The animatronics are just kids. Don't treat them as robotic animatronics. I know some people find it a little bit goofy. Scott and Blumhouse added that scene to show that the animatronics are just kids and they just want to play with Abby. This is probably the most fun the animatronics have had since they've been killed by William Afton. Try and think about it that way. It's really sad when you think about it like that. You know, 20 years, and this is the first time they've had fun playing, being a kid again, you know? This is the first time there's a bit of light in this location, and that light is Abby. That's why the spirits want to keep Abby there forever. Like Vanessa says, they're just kids. They don't know what they're doing. They don't know fully, they don't really know the full context what they're doing. So I don't know whether they knew straight away, like, oh yeah, we're going to put Abby in Ella and kill her and make her one of us. Or on the other hand, William Afton has been manipulating them behind the scenes, saying to them, you know, you can make Abby a new friend of yours. Here, put Abby in this suit that I've created and you can have her forever. We don't know if it was Golden Freddy's or the kids' ideas to do something like that, or William Afton has told them behind the scenes, the Yellow Rabbit, you can make Abby your new friend if you put her in this suit. You know what I mean? We don't know the full context. You can completely understand why. Like I've said, this is the first time they've seen a new kid, a new face at the location for 20 years, and they've had fun with her, they've danced with her, they've built a fort with her. It makes sense. I do think there's William Afton manipulation in there somewhere. We do a little bit though when William Afton gets there. William Afton says, oh, there's a new friend for you to play with. There's a new friend here. She will love it here. You know, you can see that William Afton manipulation around the vibe around the room, you know. We'll move on to the drawings. Now, drawings are very, very important in this movie. Like I said earlier, William Afton has been manipulating these ghost children for over 20 years because they still believe that the Yellow Rabbit is their best friend, like a fatherly figure that they'll always listen and listens to everything the Yellow Rabbit says. The reason why is because they don't know that the Yellow Rabbit, William Afton, killed them. They don't know. Nobody's told them. Nobody's warned them. For 20 years, each night guard that comes in, they don't know anything. They probably don't know anything about William Afton or the Yellow Rabbit. They don't know. There was an investigation, but nobody knew that the Yellow Rabbit was ever the killer. They don't know. They don't know anything. Nobody has told these animatronic kids that the Yellow Rabbit is bad. I don't think they would listen. If I went into Freddy Fazbear's Pizza right now and I went up to the stage and said, guys, what are you doing? William Afton, the Yellow Rabbit, he killed you. He's a murderer. What are you doing? Why are you listening to him? I don't think they'd listen. Something more powerful needed to be done to make them realise that the yellow rabbit is bad, and that is the drawings. One specific detail that I noticed at the start of the film was really important to me, and it was the doctor that Mike was speaking to. Pictures hold tremendous power for children, and that's true.
You know, pictures hold tremendous power for children. Before we learn to speak, images are the most important tool we have for understanding the world around us.
A lot of children use drawings to show memories, imagination, feelings. And pictures are way more easy for children to see and understand more than verbal conversation, right? If I go to the location and say, guys, your best friend for 20 years is the killer, they're not going to listen to me. They're going to just freaking murder me and shove me in the Torture Freddy suit. If, let's say, Abby, somebody who they trust and have become friends with, draws a picture of the yellow rabbit killing them, it's going to unlock some memories. Remember what Mike said to Vanessa. Everybody has memories locked away. Everybody. And sometimes you just need the key to open them. And that key was the drawing that Abby did. They've become friends with Abby. They trust Abby. You know, Abby's the light that comes into the location. When Abby draws the picture of the yellow rabbit killing them, I think it unlocks the memory and they quickly realise what's going on here. Another foreshadow about this is earlier in the film when Abby does a love heart to Bonnie and Abby says that they like drawings. Again, it's another indicator. The best way to communicate with these animatronic children spirits is through drawings. Hopefully you guys understand it now, why the drawing was important in all of this. There was a lot of foreshadowing in the past. Remember that they're just kids. The doctor says drawings hold tremendous power. So it all comes together in full circle. Symmetry, my friend. People will see some of these plot points a little bit silly, aka the fort scene and the drawings making them realise. But when you look deeper into it, it makes a lot more sense, doesn't it? And it holds a lot more emotion to it as well. I honestly think that's why some of the critics gave it a negative review, because they didn't understand it and they thought it was goofy and silly. And again, that's just my speculation, by the way. It's just speculation, but I think it makes the most sense. You can see the frustration with William Afton when he realises, hold on, what's going on? They're turning against me. Like, I created you. Because he did. You know, he killed the kids and shoved them in the suits. He created the monsters that they are. And he tries so hard to bring them back. He's like literally talking down to a child, like, look at you, look at what you've become, wicked beasts. He's desperate now. He's trying to manipulate them even more, like telling them off. If you're an adult telling a child off, they'd usually back down, you know. We've all been through it at school and stuff, right? They don't back down because they know now. But yeah, I thought that was a cool detail as well, like William trying to put them down as desperation. Now, William Afton gets attacked by the animatronics and the spring locks in the suit trigger. You only see one side of it, of the spring lock rods, but they're all going to be here. They're going to be everywhere, guys. So when they trigger, you know, he's done for. He's so done. Nobody's going to survive that. If you're a newcomer to the franchise, this is a spring lock suit. Vanessa explains it briefly when they're in the supply closet with Mike. With the Ella spring lock suit on the floor, she puts a broom in it and it snaps. The spring lock suit is basically a hybrid. It can be switched to just a robot animatronic where you don't need somebody inside. You can just put it on the stage and it performs like an animatronic with nobody inside. It can also become a suit as well where somebody can wear it. For somebody to get inside the suit, they have to move the endoskeleton, metallic bars and rods and stuff and put on the spring locks. These spring locks hold the rods in place. It's safe for somebody to get in because these spring locks hold the rods in place. However, these spring locks are very unreliable. These spring locks are hit forcefully, or if water gets into them, the spring locks fail, releasing the rods and killing whoever's inside. This is what happens to William Afton in the Yellow Rabbit costume because it is a spring lock suit. The cupcake gives enough force against the suit and rips it open, exposing the rods, ultimately leading to the spring locks failing and triggering the rods to dig into his stomach. On to the next part where William Afton says, I always come back. People who are new to this franchise might have thought that was a little out of place and a little bit goofy. Let me give you some context behind that line. I always come back is an iconic line in the FNAF franchise because William Afton always comes back. Just like in the movie, William Afton gets spring locked and turns into Springtrap. He does die, but he does possess the Spring Bonnie suit. After that, there's a fire in Five Nights at Freddy's 3. He comes back, he survives the fire. William Afton always finds a way to return. In the movie context, he says this because William Afton knows he's going to come back. He has seen what happens when somebody is killed and put inside of the animatronic suits. They possess it. It's as simple as that. And William Afton knows that. You know, he's been around the location for 20 years. He knows that the ghosts are haunting the animatronics. It's obvious to him. He assumes and is very confident that he's going to return. Even if he dies inside that suit, he's going to possess it and come back. That's why he's so confident saying it, and he's smiling. Even though he's in terrible pain, he's smiling about it because he knows that he's going to come back. Very, very obvious that he is. We'll talk about the end of the movie in a minute with that. For now, Mike, Abby, and Vanessa and the animatronics have got victory against him. The animatronics drag him away into the back room. The building collapses. Freddy gives out a cry. 20 years they have not known what's going on. Confused kids inside animatronic suits being manipulated by the yellow rabbit for 20 years, and they've realized the guy who we've trusted for over 20 years is the one who killed us in the first place. Of course, the spirits are going to be emotional, and that cry from Freddy really encapsulates that to me. You know, it's really emotional. How you can see how upset they are and relieved, you know, that they finally found out who it is. But it's not over. At the end of the movie, we can see where William Afton was taken, still barely alive, twitching and convulsing, with the spring lock still digging into him, causing tremendous amount of pain and bleeding out. He's definitely going to die inside that suit. We can confirm that. When William Afton reaches to try and get Golden Freddy to listen to him, there's a final attempt of William Afton trying to manipulate the Golden Freddy kid. You know, he reaches out for help. One last attempt to try and get somebody to help him. One last attempt for the kids to believe him and to trust him one more time. It doesn't work. The Golden Freddy spirit shuts the door, locking him in there for I don't know how long, but he's locked in there for now. He will come back. He always does. As a FNAF fan, we know that William Afton's going to come back as Springtrap. If you're a newcomer, I've already explained, but Springtrap, where it's William Afton's corpse possessing the Spring Bonnie suit that he died in. In the game lore, he gets killed by the spirits, just like the movie, and then gets trapped inside a room in the location. And then it leads to Five Nights at Freddy's 3. 30 years later, they create a Five Nights at Freddy's horror attraction called Fazbear Frights, and they go back to old locations trying to find any old animatronics or memorabilia and merch. They eventually find the secret room that Springtrap was inside. I don't know if there's going to be a similar plot with the next movie. I'm 100% confident now that they're going to make another movie. The movie has done so well at the box office this weekend. It is Blumhouse's biggest ever horror movie released. Ever. Five Nights at Freddy's. Ever. Ever, 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 ever. How crazy is that to think about, you know? Of course they're going to be making a new movie. Are they going to do a similar plot where somebody discovers Springtrap or Springtrap finds a way out? Remember, this building's collapsed a little bit now, and Steve Raglan is dead. Nobody is there to keep it alive anymore, right? The location's going to get demolished, and then they find Springtrap in the room, and then he escapes or something like that. Or somebody buys the pizzeria and turns it into a horror attraction or something like that. But he's coming back, guys. Springtrap's coming. Theorize about movie plots in a minute. So yeah, I think he's going to come back. It's pretty obvious. That ending was really obvious. And William Afton saying, I always come back. It's obvious. At the end of the credits, we hear the puppet music box from Five Nights at Freddy's 2. The Atari robot voice saying, come find me. Again, this is clearly indicating that this is going to be a sequel. Probably all about the puppet and the FNAF 2 location with the toys. If you're a newcomer, the puppet is the first victim in the game lore, killed by William Afton. William Afton kills the kid outside a location. That kid then possesses the puppet. The puppet is the original victim, who then gives life to the other victims as the other animatronics. I don't want to make things too complicated for this video. The victim of the puppet is called Charlie, and Charlie is Henry Emily's daughter. Henry was a co-owner of Freddy Fazbear's Pizza with William Afton, where Henry and William both had a business together. I don't want to make it too complicated and go off track, but yeah, that's what you need to know, because we're going to talk about the sequel. It does look like they're going through a similar plot to this, that the puppet's going to be the first victim. We're probably going to do a lot of flashbacks in Five Nights at Freddy's 2, showing William Afton in the original Spring Bonnie suit. We're probably going to see the first victim turning into the puppet and the origins on how the animatronics possess the suits and stuff. A bit more of the deep lore, because in the first movie, they don't show too much. I think they play it safe. You don't want to confuse everybody in the first movie. They are cooking for the next movie, and they're going to give a lot more backstory and lore about William Afton and the animatronics possessing the and the victims possessing the suits and stuff, you know. We can speculate on who the puppet is. I'm going to guess that Garrett is going to be the puppet. Can still work that Garrett's the first victim and Garrett's the puppet, or maybe Garrett's just one of the toy animatronics. We don't know. Or Garrett just gets killed and doesn't possess anything. We don't know. It's interesting how the location and the kids seem to have a connection with Garrett. They only know about Garrett because the ghost children got into Mike's head and dreams and started to learn about Garrett and the murder and the kidnapping. Or they actually do know who Garrett is. We don't know. It is leaning towards that Garrett was William Afton's first victim, and in the game lore, William Afton's first victim is the puppet. Are they going to do a similar plot here where Garrett's the puppet? And in Five Nights at Freddy's 2, Mike, Vanessa, and Abby go to the Fnaf 2 location, and they start to discover that William Afton killed more kids, and they have to, like, save the toy animatronics, and they learn the origins about the puppet, and they learn that Garrett's the puppet, and something like that, maybe. I don't know. And then at the end of FNAF 2, we see Springtrap or something, and then that leads to Five Nights at Freddy's 3, where there's a final standoff between Mike and Springtrap, and at a horror location or something. And that is a lot of speculation, but we'll see if we're right. With the one thing that seems to be 100% confirmed is that they're teasing the puppet. It'll probably be at the FNAF 2 location with the toy animatronics. Prequel or a sequel, I don't know. I do think Mike's going to go to the FNAF location and deal with the toys, and we'll get flashbacks of Spring Bonnie and, you know, more William Afton, which everybody wants. I feel like Blumhouse has listened to that. I think we're going to get flashbacks of Matthew Lillard playing as, you know, classic William Afton in the classic Spring Bonnie suit. It's looking good. It's looking good. And I am confident now, after how the movie's done, that we're going to see a FNAF 2 and probably a FNAF 3. In the original interview with me and Scott's always wanted to do a trilogy. So I think that's going to happen. I really do. I think that's it. Look at my notes, guys. I mean, most of the stuff I spoke about is the ending, right? I haven't really spoke about Mike's dreams and stuff, but I feel like that's pretty obvious. You know, Mike had dreams because he wanted to find out who the killer is. The children at the FNAF location got involved with that and manipulated Mike to take Abby. Then it all circles back at the climax. You know, William Afton killed Garrett and killed the kids, and it's a yellow rabbit. I feel like I don't really need to explain that. That is it, guys. That is the ending explained in the FNAF movie. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope this video helped make sense about the drawings and the fort scene, and the animatronics are just kids, you know. So, and they were manipulated by William Afton, and that's why they were killing night guards all the time, because William Afton was making them. Vanessa was helping William Afton because, you know, William Afton's a dad and obviously has been abusing her for years to manipulate her to do his biddings as well. So I feel like the story of the first movie is very solid. It's safe. Watching it the second and third time, things start to click with the story. You're like, oh, that's why the drawings are important, you know. Oh, and that's why they did the fort scene. That's what they're trying to show, you know. Take care, lots of love, and please, please, please let me know all of your thoughts, speculation, theories in the comment section. Anything that I've missed, any details that I've missed, put them in the comment section, please, for everybody else to see. You know, have fun with the movie, man. It's a great movie, and I've been really happy about it. And like I said, watching it the second time, I appreciated it a lot more. Like, I still liked the movie the first screening, but the second time, the clockwork start to click, and, you know, telling you guys, FNAF 2 and FNAF 3, it's going to be a classic trilogy that people are going to watch every Halloween. I guarantee it. Newcomers and FNAF fans, every Halloween, let's put the FNAF trilogy on. Let's go watch it. It's going to happen, guys. I'm telling you. I'm calling it. A cozy Halloween classic that everybody's going to watch. The whole trilogy. I'm telling you guys. Take care. Lots of love. Thanks for watching. And I'll see you all next time.